Let's get it started and let's go. Hey, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Letting you know it's Wealth on Wednesdays. Wealth on Wednesdays here with Rev Bruce. And today we're tackling Smart Black Friday money moves. Smart Black Friday money moves. Let's be real about this. Black Friday doesn't even occur on Black Friday anymore. You know what I mean? It's it's something different now, and so um, I don't even know why it's a trip for people anymore. But definitely, Black Friday is coming up, and you'll see early Black Friday sales. Black Friday sales occurring in different times, different places, all kinds of nonsense. And so let's be real about this. Black Friday, to begin with, last year, this thing hit over $10 billion in online sales, Black Friday. And so we're talking about money being spent, money being spent where in this period, right, you're going to see for that same $10 billion for the average shopper, they spent $235 for that weekend, that Thanksgiving weekend, regarding Black Friday shopping. Um, Come on, man. This is when people try to get their Christmas gifts early, knock that out of the way. That's what Black Friday typically was about before. Catch a sale, get a TV, DVD player, things of that nature early, get it for cheap, deeply discounted. It's turned into something else. And now you got Cyber Monday, and that's included in that. All kinds of stuff going on here. And so, in dealing with the Black Friday sales, I want you to know one other fact to go along with this. Who's being targeted, right? Who's being targeted? And most of the merchandising, commercials, advertising is targeting particular groups of shoppers in general. Who's being targeted now is younger people, Gen Z, millennials, younger folks. And so on the flip side of that, that's who merchants are targeting. Guess who the fishers and scammers and hackers are targeting? They're going after grandma. They're going after grandma, people who are less tech savvy, right? And they're trying to get people into this whole idea of where they can get taken advantage of, sadly, in some of these online scams and hacks. A lot of this online phishing that's going on. These scams occur and they're targeting people who are less tech savvy, even less online shopping savvy. And so let's approach this with some awareness and understand that when we talk about Black Friday sales, online sales, Cyber Monday, anything like that, even Giving Tuesday, the groups that are being targeted for the scams and the phishing scams, in particular, false sites, fake sites, these are going to be people who don't normally shop online, who aren't your average Amazon shoppers and things of that nature. And so they're looking for deals, and they may find a cheaper advertised deal and wind up, getting done wrong. And so let's be aware of that. And so here are some things we want to look at as far as shopping online, in particular for Black Friday. And go into some more detail on this. But look at it, set a budget, research hot items, right? The items that you really are trying to get a hold of and get your hands on. And the best deals tend to go beyond just price. It's beyond just a deep discount. And then be able to be in a position to leverage your power and ability to have delayed gratification. And I'll go into that in some more detail just so you understand. But those are key components about this, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Here we go. And I want you to dig in, comment if you can, right? Jump in the comments if you need to, ask questions. But boom, when you set a realistic budget that includes establishing a spending limit, know how much you're willing to spend and limit how much you're willing to spend, in particular on certain items, right? Electronics, are you going overboard with the electronic spending? Are you overdoing it with clothing? You've got clothes in your closet that you're not necessarily replacing, but then you're going to add more clothes. What's going on there? And so set a limit. You're only going to buy so much. X percentage is going towards gifts. X percentage is going towards how much you're buying for yourself. Set a limit on how much you're spending during this season. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in over your head. Secondly, I would say research hot items. That means I'd pick your top 5 items that you want to get, right? I wouldn't go over 5 unless you've gotten a windfall, Christmas bonus or anything like that early. If you haven't received the Christmas bonus early, you're not buying more than 5, right? Limit yourself, okay? And then use sites with verified customer reviews rather than paid reviews. And I say that because when you're looking at items that have been reviewed by customers can give you some authentic feedback on usage, packaging, things of that nature, as well as, was it a good deal with the merchant? Was there true customer service? Was there a return issue? Whatever. Was there a sizing issue? Sometimes you're getting items that are sized for different regions, and they're not the same as when you buy them as U.S. sized products. There's a difference. And so if you get something from a merchant that's typically selling in another area where the sizes run smaller, now you've got an item that you got a great deal on that you have trouble returning. Look at what you're getting into. And that's why I say, too, the best deals go beyond price. You've got to know what matters most to you. What are your shopping priorities as you're going through your list, and what matters most to you beyond just a discounted deal? First, you need to know what is the going price for that item, and then are you really getting a deal on it if you're paying shipping and handling and all of this? And if you have to buy $50 more worth of items from that merchant in order to get free shipping, that still may be delayed, and that still might take 10 to 14 days for you to receive it. Okay, what do you get in return for that? Be prepared to comparison shop. Compare different sites. Compare their reliability. Look deep into the customer reviews and the ratings on multiple platforms, simply because what you read on their home site may be filtered. It may be filtered. And what you might need to be reading is what's on a general site like Google and how that site is reviewed. You might want to review the Bing reviews of that site and shoppers from there. Simply because what happens is we end up with items that we're purchasing online, and shopping online is way different than back in the day at the mall. Back in the day at the mall, you go in the room, try it on, see how it fits. Okay, can you hold this for me? That doesn't happen online like that. It doesn't happen online like that. And so when you're getting these deeply discounted deals, sometimes you're getting a deal on a site for the item, but by the time you get done shipping, handling, taxes, and everything else included with it, the markup is too great. I would always compare whatever it is that I'm buying to Amazon. Is Amazon perfect? No. I've had trouble with Amazon before. Let's be real. But in 80 to 90% of the cases, Amazon is pretty much where you want to be, right? Amazon is where you want to be as far as that type of service. And I'm talking about Amazon Prime, not just shopping on Amazon. And so when we look at it, what are you getting for what you're purchasing, right? What are you getting for the dollars invested? And if you're buying 5 items, are you getting a bulk rate for some of those items being delayed? And that's what I mean by your delayed gratification. Can you handle not receiving those items the next day? Can you handle receiving those items into the next week, receiving a discount or a refund or a further future coupon code for later on because you're not receiving all those items? And that goes back to looking at places like Amazon where you actually get those type of offers within the cart before you finalize the purchase. Great. If you're using credit cards, use your credit card. That would give you a better deal as far as returns and protection for online shopping, because as I mentioned, you've got scammers out here trying to take advantage of people, and it doesn't work. My recommendation is to use a credit card or even a third-party service like PayPal, Apple Pay. Those things tend to allow you to make purchases, have some record of it, and have it to where you, as a consumer, can actually make those purchases, right? You'll make those purchases, and those purchases will be covered and protected in case of, a scam or anything of that nature. And they have great departments that follow up on such issues. I'd rather do that than use a debit card per se. And so when you do that, if you're going to be shopping, use those credit cards that also give you rewards, but definitely those that have fraud protection, because fraud protection is going to be the thing that you need if you're dealing with items that are purchased and you purchase those items and there's an issue with it. They won't be cooperative from a customer service point of view. Now you've got to sic the credit card company on the merchant. And so that's something you may not want to get into, but that's something that may be better to have as your protection than as an afterthought. Something to think about as we deal with shopping online, in particular during this season, based upon the different things you'll have to face during this season. Put it another way, part of shopping online, you need to have a budget, but that budget needs to be inclusive enough of everything that might be attached to where you're shopping and how much you're spending. And if you're spending heavily on one or two items, that limits what you can do with the rest of what you're shopping for. Hey, you might be looking for that one specific item in particular, and now as these sales begin to come out, now research it. Set your Google alerts. What are you looking for? Put the type of item that you're looking for, because you may find a comparative item that's available at another place at a lower price, and they might include another deal. Look out for bundles, right? If you buy the PSP, do you also get something else to go with it? Do you get a carrying case? Do you get travel equipment, headsets? What else do you get? And so what's the bargain? Is the bargain a bundle, or is the bargain a deeply discounted price, but you're still paying for shipping and handling? Who still does that now? So we've been spoiled with Prime and some of these other places. If you have a membership in, some companies, a rewards membership, or you have a rewards credit card that you're using, keep that in mind and how beneficial those rewards will be based upon how much you're spending in this allocated budget. It may not be worth it to use a particular card that you have if it's not going to be in line with your overall financial plan for utilizing that credit card. Don't go outside of what you would normally do as far as your money moves just to get an item in hand that you might regret and have buyer's remorse later on down the road. That's the way I see it, because simply buying certain items at this time may not be the best time to buy them. Guess what? In a lot of cases, some of this stuff is going to be available after the sale. Can we be real? Some of this stuff is going to be available after the sale, and you're going to say, what happened? And so the caveat here is be careful with what you spend and where you spend your money. That's going to be the issue. Not just what you spend, but where you spend it, right? And so these sites are not all built equally. These sites are not all the same. And so when you go into some of these websites that say that they're for a particular item or a special collection, they may not be all of what they advertise to be, and you can get duped. You can get taken. And so be mindful of that. Be careful with that. Definitely watch your spending. Watch how it's working for you. Please, please do not get taken during this season. If you can hold off and wait until some of these Black Friday sales are over, some of the overstock items are going to be on sale like it's on fire after this Black Friday is over with. And so you might catch it on Cyber Monday at a deeper discount, or you may catch it later on in early December where they couldn't get rid of it and get it out of stock, and now you're finding the true and living deal. Who knows? But if you're willing to delay some of that gratification, you can continue to comparison shop and see where the best deals may lie and take advantage of it there and seize the day. Hey, I'm just trying to offer a little bit from Faith and Finances, right, to help you understand as a consumer, use these tips to your advantage. God bless.